Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that the 2024 season has come to an end as the Ohio State Buckeyes hold off the Notre Dame Fighting Irish for their first national title since 2014 with a final score of 34-23, an all-time great game that we got to experience. It was a lot of fun getting to watch this football game. Lucas Hill here with you in a brand new studio, ladies and gentlemen. We are now called Inside the Huddle. It's the inauguration of what you guys get to have and what we have decided to create. And we are extremely excited for that. Guys, we are extremely excited for the start of this brand new era here at Inside the Huddle. Thank you guys for your continued support. We are really excited for what is to come for the near future. We are excited for what you guys get to experience and what you guys are going to be able to witness firsthand. But everybody do us a favor, no matter where you are, wherever you're watching, guys, make sure that you like, share, and as well as subscribe for more as we get closer and closer to as we approach 600 followers on X. We approach 500 on Instagram, as well as many more. And I hate this internet. Absolutely insane, bro. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for what has been an amazing season. We have achieved numbers that we did not expect to see from us here at Inside the Huddle. And as we transition to a new season, into a new title, we're excited for what is to come. We're excited for what we have in store. Bear with. All right, there we go. So, guys, we are really, really excited for what we have in store. Look, it's been a great season. So let's go ahead and let's get into the reaction part of today's show. Let's talk about this Ohio State offense. And look, huge plays had to be made at the end of the day. We're good. All right, let's get into it. All right. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk primarily the football game. I mean, what did you expect from this one? You got a lot that you were not really expecting. You know, you got probably a classic that many people were not expecting to get. And look, I am extremely elated that we got a great football game at the end of the day. You know, that's better than what I could have imagined. That's better than what I think a lot of people were expecting. I think a lot of people were expecting a blowout, but here comes Notre Dame, down 31-7 at one point, and yet they come back and find a way to stay in the football game. Riley Leonard did a great job of matriculating the football down the field and being able to lead this Notre Dame team to within one possession. And so what you got overall from this game was Notre Dame's ability to fight from behind. They've been doing this all season. They've been getting down on early in the season, and they've managed to climb back. What a way to respond. You start the season off, what? 1-1. You have the horrible loss to Northern Illinois. Many people write you off, and then boom, you come back and absolutely dominate the next several games of the season. You get yourself into the college football playoff. You knock off teams like you knock off Indiana. You knock off Georgia. You knock off Penn State. And you're able to stay that path. You're able to continue to be able to stay in this football game. And your ability to hang in with the big boys, it's been shown all season. Guys, you knew that this game, if you were Notre Dame, it was going to start and end with Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard had a great game. He let it rip through the air. 255 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 total on the day. I mean, a heck of a game from Riley Leonard. You cannot ask for a better game from him. And yes, he struggled majority of the start of the game. But look, he got to be able to get comfortable. And he was able to get to that point. Ohio State becoming the first 2-loss national champions since 2007 LSU. So a good victory for them. But you're going to see a lot more 2-loss teams be national champions. I really do. You're going to be able to see stuff like that. And so the ability of Ohio State to really just be able to hold on to this game. Look, there were a lot of things that could have gone wrong for Ohio State, and I thought it was too. It started off rough for the Buckeyes. Notre Dame goes on a 10-minute drive, gets all the way inside the 10-yard line. Boom, they score. First possession. And what they were able to do was really be able to shut down after that first drive. Here's what the next several possessions were for Notre Dame after that 18-play, 75-yard drive. 3 and out, 3 plays, -5 yards. 3 plays, 1 end of the half. Notre Dame used that to their advantage. Or Ohio State used it to their advantage. And they were able to create 3 straight touchdown drives. You go up 21-7. Everybody thought that this was going to be over with afterwards. Then you get to 31-7. Notre Dame ends up turning it all over on downs. Ohio State gets a field goal out of it. They're up 31-7. Now you're talking about a great opportunity for Notre Dame, for Ohio State to really punch them square in the mouth. Boom, Notre Dame takes it, 10 plays, 75-yard drive, makes it a 2-possession game. Boom, couple plays later, Ohio State drives. They're inside about to be near the red zone of Notre Dame. Passes to Emeka Egbuka. Boom, fumbles. Drake Bowen falls on it. Notre Dame goes 12 plays, 70 yards. Has first and goal at the 8-yard line. And does it. You basically blew it on 3 straight downs. You couldn't get it into the end zone. And that goes back to Jim Knowles' defense and what they've been able to do all season long. Is their ability to buckle down when it matters most. They did a great job this season of being able to do so. And this has been what this Jim Knowles defense has done. That's why they were the number 1 defense in college football this year. That's why they were one of the best rushing offense. That's why they were one of the best scoring defenses in LSU in college football. They were able to do that. And it was impressive seeing what that defense was able to do. As we continue along with this one. Let's talk about the rest of this. Notre Dame, they force an Ohio State punt. What's crazy about this, guys, Ohio State punted time throughout this football game. This was not Al Golden's best game. Everything just seemed out of a line for this defense. It just didn't seem like a normal defense. It just didn't seem like they were able to be able to convert, especially when it comes to being able to shut down guys like, when you talk about Jeremiah Smith, who popped off. What a rebound game for Jeremiah Smith, by the way. 5 receptions, 88 yards, big one down the stretch to put this football game away. You needed your 1 and 2 guys to step up with Emeka Egbuka and Jeremiah Smith, and they did indeed. To me, the player of the game, though, no doubt it's Quinshon Judkins. Accounts for 3 touchdowns on the day. Ends up with arguably one of the best performances I've seen by a running back in the college football playoff in a while. I think Judkins will be named the MVP of this game. I think he deserves it. No question about it. And all that he and this rushing offense was able to do, put up 214 yards rushing between him, Will Howard, Travion Henderson, and Emeka Egbuka combined. They ran for 219 if you get the reverse to Jeremiah Smith out the way. This was an overall unbelievable game. This is one of those games that you knew was going to be unreal. And I know that when you look at where Notre Dame's going to be next year, you look at where Ohio State's going to be next year, I'll be honest with you, they're going to be on 2 different spectrums. Because when you look at where Notre Dame was, they returned a lot of dues this year. They really did. And what they were able to do this year, coming back from a year to try and claim that coveted national title. It was just incredible. But let's talk about the throw that was made by Will Howard to Jeremiah Smith. Dude, it was incredible. Absolutely insane performance that he put together. Dude, I mean, just what a throw, bottom line, man. It was, dude, I mean, this throw might go down as one of the greatest plays in Ohio State history. I don't know. I know that when you talk about the 2002 title, whenever Ohio State got the big win over the then undefeated Miami, that was a big they had some big plays in there. The Holy Buckeye game, this probably is up there. This is up there. So let's go ahead and let's break down this play. It's a 2-by-1. We play zone. The only one that's not manned up is Jeremiah Smith. We play about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage on him. They're sending the house. They needed to put pressure on Will Howard. And I'll tell you what, Will Howard had another great game. Will Howard came out aggressive. The last 2 games, he was unreal. That dude came out and played some football. And you needed him to at the end of the day. Ohio State 9 of 12 on third down compared to Notre Dame's 5 of 12. 214 yards rushing to 53 from Notre Dame. You needed guys like Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love to step up, and they just weren't. They were shut down so effectively, and their ability to be able to hold off this Notre Dame rushing attack was incredible. I give my props to Jim Knowles and this defense for being able to do so throughout this football game. So let's go ahead and let's talk a bit. Let's discuss this thing, brother. Because this, to me, is probably the play of the game. This is probably the play of the season for Ohio State. You know, I look, they only got to him twice. So, in essence, you didn't do terrible, but it certainly wasn't enough. So, yeah, you send six, you send a delayed one off the edge. You man up, and you say, screw it. I got my number one guy out there. You know what I mean? I got my number one guy out there. What am I going to do? I'm going to chuck that thing to him, and he's going to be wide open because we want to play zone coverage on Jeremiah freaking Smith. And we're going to win ourselves a national championship because of it. Let's welcome in Southern Charm, a.k.a. Mr. Scout. You like the new overlay?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Scout, welcome to Inside the Huddle.
Beautiful. Inside the Huddle.
Dude, I am excited for this one. It's truly been a remarkable season for us. You know, me and Scout, we officially started doing this. We initially started off as a weekend recap and everything that happened in college football. Then we started getting into weekly shows, and it was a lot of fun, guys. And I've been really, really stoked to work with him. Scout, we still got a lot of football left. You know, we still got the NFL. We got to talk a little bit about NFC and AFC championship. Hey, man, it's football. Football is football at the end of the day. I know I don't.
69 days until the Stallions kick off. Giddy up.
Hey,
we really need like a little hand.
After Super Bowl,
I forgot we stole the link.
This is Go Pokes for us at McNeese.
No, well, you like, yeah, that's Go Pokes.
Giddy up. But no, man, we're going to start getting into UFL coverage. in the next month following Super Bowl action. Kind of get into it a little bit. But let's talk a little bit about this game, dude. Notre Dame starts off 10 play, or what was it? 18 plays, 10-minute drive. That was insane. But that's what they've been doing all year, is just trying to win the time of possession game. That's what Notre Dame tried to do. But I think what they did is that after that initial drive, you could tell Riley Leonard was gassed on the sideline, bro. I mean, after that drive, he had 6 carries for 27 yards on that one drive alone. And the rest of the way, he finished out with 40 yards rushing.
Yeah.
So
That's just crazy, man.
I find that really interesting, knowing that our two main dudes from this rushing attack in Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love. I don't think Jeremiah Love was ever healthy after that game against Indiana. There's no way. Because you looked at the way that he performed throughout this game and throughout the rest of the postseason. The guy had a great regular season. 4 carries for 3 yards today. 11 carries for 46 last week against Penn State. 6 for 19 against Georgia. And that's your number one guy. That's a guy that you've been relying on majority of the year. And where is he gone? Really, if you take away the one carry that he had for 98 against Indiana, 7 carries for what? 10 yards.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this now that you're here, Scout. Initial reaction to the game, initial reaction to the entirety of the regular season.
I thought it was pretty solid in general. I know that some people will be more apt to say like, oh, it was a bad game, oh, it was this, oh, it was that. But I mean, hey, it was one of the games of all time, right? I don't think anybody goes in there expecting a superb, like 90 or nothing game. Nobody goes in there expecting like they all want a close game, and it ended up being close. Okay, I don't care if a team fought back and they didn't fought back all the way. I think that's a dumb take from in my perspective, right? If you're gonna come to me and be like, oh well, they almost came back, but they didn't. No, stop talking. Just be quiet. Be quiet. But yeah, so. I don't know.
No, I agree. I do think that when you really look at where this game started off, I mean, you could tell like this was going to be a blowout to me. I was ready to go live with like 5 minutes left, with it being 31-15. Like I had that much confidence that Ohio State was going to be able to not make any mistakes. And I thought that they were going to go down the field. They were going to score one more time, and I was going to be home scot-free and be able to cover this thing live. And I was sadly mistaken. Like, look, I'll give Notre Dame credit. They're a 3rd and 11 stop away from being one drive to potentially get a game-tying score. But I think what was so good about Ohio State and what they showed from that Jim Knowles defense is their ability to buckle down in the red zone. The big missed field goal. How big of an impact did that make on the game? The decision that was made.
I just thought the decision was dumb. I was listening to Bud Elliott. Bud Elliott also had a pretty good point on it. Of basically like,
look, here's my thing about it. I think Marcus Freeman and Mike Denbrock lost trust in the offense to be able to get into the red zone and score against Ohio State because of what they were lacking the last 4 drives dating back to the first half. And I mean, their inability to really move the football in the red zone had hurt them before. And they knew about what Ohio State was going to do. They knew about how they've had a lot of red zone success. they didn't want that. That's why they played a lot of quick game. They didn't want this front four with Jack Sawyer and with JTT coming off the edge and causing havoc. Unfortunately, that happened a couple times. It didn't happen as much as you would expect from this Ohio State front as they did over the last 3 games. But still, you got consistent pressure, and you were able to force some bad balls that were thrown by Riley Leonard that killed a lot of drives. But yes, I do go back to that decision. That's one that they're going to have to sit on over the offseason and really ponder and say, if we would have gone for it, 50-50 chance. I mean, I'd rather take a risk and have them go down the field and try to score than and leave it as not really questioning my play calling rather than have an inconsistent field goal kicker out there and try to bring us into still within 2 possessions, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. That was just a confusing play call. I don't understand. Like, why would you not just go for it? Like, why wouldn't you just take the risk? Like, what do you think was going through their head?
Nothing. No thoughts.
Hey, yo. But nah, man. Overall, look, we got what we wanted. We got a great game. We really did. It was, despite what people were going to say about the score, it was a dang good game. I will give them that. And I think that with what this Ohio State team is going to offer next year, this was a huge monkey that got off of Ryan Day's back. Think about where he was and what we were talking about after that Michigan game, Scout. We thought this was it. We knew that he was going to get a lot of heat. I didn't think that he was going to get fired, but I'll say is that what Ohio State was able to do is that they got their offensive philosophy to not rely on being a run-first team and try to think that they're a run-first team, is that they had to realize that we got dudes on the outside, is that we've been able to dominate teams through the air all season long. Let's do that. And they did that throughout that entire postseason. Will Howard came out really aggressive the last 2 games. That was probably the most aggressive I've seen a quarterback come out in a while. Just coming out slinging a rock like that, that was impressive. And I think also, like I mentioned, looking back on November, we were talking about how if he goes one and done in the postseason, there's a chance going into next year, the pressure is going to get ramped up. I'm not saying he's going to get fired next year or the year after. But there's going to be a lot of Ohio State fans that are going to want a natty pretty soon, or they might be asking for his resignation. But I think that was the principal theme between these 2 coaches following their respective losses. One to Northern Illinois, and then the other to their arch rival in Michigan for the 4th or 5th straight year in a row. How many is it, Scout?
To Michigan, 2.
Yes.
Or no, 3 in a row. 3 in a row. My fault.
Okay. Thank you. Let's kind of get into a little bit of some questions. We got my boy on the real Caleb. They needed to throw the ball. Oh my God, yes. I believe me, I know. But what could you really do, honestly? Notre Dame just really had no answer over the next several drives, dude. I mean, it's just it was bad. It was really bad.
So, yeah.
What you playing? NC2A or
Nah, I got that 2K, fella.
Brother, 2K is crazy.
2K, hell yeah. What's wrong with that 2K?
Nah, 2K is kind of not for me. But now, guys, leave your comments in the comments section below. We will get to them. Also, join the show. Make sure that you guys are participation. We got another comment from the real Caleb 11. Ohio State was just a complete overall team. They're the best team that money could buy. And that has been the reality of college football this year, and it will be over the next several years. We've said that ever since the season began. That's why they were a preseason favorite to win it all. That's why they're going to be the same thing for next year. By the way, how we feeling about your boy from about your boy Riley?
Riley was solid.
Riley slung the rock a little bit today.
Yeah, sure.
Jaden Greathouse, dude. Hey, shout out Jaden Greathouse, too. Have a postseason, dude. What a great postseason Jaden Greathouse had. Look, I guarantee you, if you were to have asked anybody around college football who Jaden Greathouse was before the Indiana game outside of South Bend, people might have, but not really a whole lot would have heard of them. Now, after the game run they had, oh, yeah, people know about him.
Yeah.
People for sure know about this dude. But shoot, man, I mean, the last two games, 7 catches, 105 against Penn State, and then today, 6 for 128 in a valiant losing effort. I mean, the guy's going to be a stud next year. Now let's kind of preview the next year for both teams. We got a lot of young quarterbacks coming in. Riley Leonard's gone. Will Howard is gone. In comes CJ Carr. In comes Julian Sayin. What are the realistic expectations of what we're going to expect from them next year?
I think realistic, it would be. But you have to have playoffs in it, right? Whether or not you think that it's
Right.
going to be like that, I just think that playoffs is a bare minimum. Past that, I'm unsure what exactly, like where exactly we reside in that. But yeah, but I'd say playoffs is your bare minimum, 100%. So, but past playoffs, I'm unsure.
I'll say this. Both are extremely talented. Everybody knows about Julian Sayin and the drama that happened in 2025. And what I think was so incredible, coming into high school a bit early, CJ Carr, everybody knows about him, the 5-star quarterback, initially committed to Bama, then ended up transferring to Ohio State for his freshman season. Showed some promise, did fairly well in garbage time, 5 of 12 for 84 and a score. But we'll see what he has to offer next year. Number 1 quarterback in the class of 2024. Looking at CJ Carr, number 6 quarterback in the class of 24. Both about that, staying 6 foot, 1, 203. Carr has a bit of a height advantage. He looks more the prototypical NFL quarterback that you're going to expect from next year. But we'll just have to see, man. I mean, it's going to be pretty impressive to see how these two develop over the course of the spring and through the offseason as well. So, which young quarterback are you most excited for going into next year? It can be anything, by the way.
For college football?
Yes.
Wherever Ty Simpson ends up, give me Ty.
Where do you think he's going to end up? Do you think that he is a G5 dude?
I hope he ends up at Bama, but just wherever he ends up. So, but he should be at Bama.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Um, let's see what else do we have. Who's the early favorite to go back to be that G5 guy team that'll make the CFP for next year? Because we've already seen the release statements. Nothing's going to change this upcoming
Yeah.
year. So obviously, we're going to have to wait for more to come forward with more for next year.
I don't know exactly. But I don't know. I'd have to look at it more. Um, I don't know.
I know you look. What
There's
you think
so
about
much that's moving
UNLV,
around,
dude?
so I literally just don't know.
What you think about UNLV, bro? Because look. But the problem is actually, are they going to stay in the Mountain West this upcoming year? That's the thing.
I think they will. I think they
Okay.
basically have to.
Okay. Because look, hey, anything can happen. It's Haj Malik Williams was last year. He's headed to the NFL draft, no question about it. I mean, you bring in some dudes. You bring in Jeremiah Vessel, who I know personally. He was a BR guy. Was at U High, I think. He was a dog. Make no question about it. Then ended up transferring to Bishop Gorman and then New Mexico State. You got Javon Grigsby, who I played against whenever he was at Purdue. Dude's a dog himself. I mean, there's just so many guys that UNLV has brought in throughout the offseason. And I think that there's still a lot that you're going to end up looking forward to. Look, we'll just see, man. I mean, there's a lot that we don't really know yet about UNLV going into this year. But we do know that at the end of the day, hey, anything can happen. Don't they have? By the way, doesn't UNLV have a transfer that's coming in?
What do you mean?
Who is it?
Doesn't
Because I'm trying to
UNLV have a
find who it
transfer?
was. Huh?
You said doesn't UNLV have a transfer?
Yes.
I'm sure.
Because they're supposed to have a dude. They got Coy Moore, who should be a decent receiver for them. You got Denver Harris, who's coming in. We'll see how he is. You got Jalen Lee, who is an absolute dog in the middle. Looking at some more. Looking at this receiving core looks pretty interesting with Dejon Reynolds, with Tayshawn Lyons, Caden Costa, who I know, he's a Mandeville guy. I mean, this is looking really interesting. Matthew Burns. Got a couple of SEC dudes on this roster. I mean, you have a lot of guys that you can really rely on. Alex Orji, we'll see what Dan Mullen can do. Can he develop him into a decent quarterback? At least an okay quarterback? At least just better than he was at Michigan. Do you think he's around the right system now with Dan Mullen?
Yes. Yes, for sure.
We'll just have Go ahead.
Oh, did you lose him for a second? I think he's in the right system with Dan Mullen for sure. I think Dan's going to be able to work in guys to get them around that kind of thing. It'll be solid.
Hmm.
But yeah.
You want to know something? I played against one of the guys that's at UNLV right now, Landon Thomas, who's a Arizona State transfer. Guy's good, by the way. But no, man.
I'm out here making a build, bro. Hold up.
Huh?
I'm out here making a build.
Hey, yo. Hey, Scout, let me ask you a question. You ready for people to be mad at me?
Sure.
All right. All right. Hey, I'm just letting you know. Don't be mad at me. I'm just telling you right now about what's going to happen. I'm dropping my way too early top 25, okay?
No. This man, no. Someone stop this man. Stop him.
What you want me to do? All right, we're going top to bottom, okay? Georgia Tech got them 25th, Ole Miss at 24, Texas A&M at 23, Boise State at 22, Louisville at 21, Tennessee at 20, Michigan at 19, Indiana at 18, SMU at 17. I got Florida and Kansas State coming in at the 16th and 15th. Arizona State, this was a tough one for me because some part of me wanted me to switch SMU and Arizona State, but I just feel like Arizona State's just a better team. I think they're going to get a lot more weapons this year for Sam Leavitt to throw the football to. I got Illinois, and just look, Illinois had probably one of the more unbelievable seasons that you've seen recently from this team, from this season. I mean, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like it was unbelievable just witnessing what they were able to do. And look, it was really impressive watching them. Alabama coming in at 12, followed by Iowa State. I think they're going to be still really good with Rocco Beck coming back. I think they, too, could be one of the best teams in the Big 12 as well, but we'll see what happens when they play BYU. I think Notre Dame, I do think they take a little bit of a step back next year, but I think they'll still have the same old expectations. I got them at number 9. Clemson at 8 with a lot of these offensive weapons coming back, as well as your primary starter in Kay Klubnik coming in. You bring in some good receivers in Antonio Williams and Bryant Wesco, both guys who were – Williams had a great season last year. Both of those guys were 40-plus catch guys, both combined for 16 touchdowns, as well as both guys averaging over 10 yards a catch. I think that when you look at South Carolina, I think this is a team very likely could be a top 5 team when you get into the spring. Now, you can call me crazy for thinking that, but let me tell you what this team is going to bring back. Look, I understand you're going to lose a lot of dudes on the defensive side of the ball. You're losing Nick Emanwari. You're losing Demetrius Knight. You're losing T.J. Sanders, Kyle Kennard. You're losing Debo Williams. All of those guys who were critical for that great 10-win season that they had. But I just have so much love for what they bring back. Lenora Sellers, Mazeo Bennett. You've got a decent offensive line that's going to help you. 2 of the best on the edge, and Dylan Stewart, who's going to have a even better season this upcoming year for them. You got Brian Thomas Jr., who showed flashes of potential in the bowl game, also had a very, very effective game or a very effective year for the Gamecocks. I look, there's just so much to look forward to from him. Guy finished out with 4.5 sacks, 6.5 TFLs to go along with 23 tackles. Didn't play a whole lot, but the guy, when he does get on the field, shows off so much potential in this season. I think South Carolina is probably going to be one of the dark horses going into next year. I got Oregon coming in at 6. Miami's a top 5 team to me. And it's not just because of Carson Beck. It's who you surround Beck with. It's who you have that is really going to make a big difference for this year. Because Carson Beck, to me, is still one of the best as quarterbacks in college football.
Sure.
All right. I do think that he could have a breakout year with a better system in Miami. I got Georgia coming in at 4. I think that just the way that Kirby Smart has that program going, I think they're still in rebuild mode. It's the same thing over and over, guys. I mean, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look, but I could be wrong. But look, I got Texas coming in at 3. The Arch Manning era has begun. I think that there is a lot more of an expectation to develop around him. I think they should have played him a lot more this postseason. I thought it was a disgrace that he didn't play but 2 snaps during the semifinal as well as during the quarter and semifinals. I thought he should have played more, but I think Sark got in too over his head. I got Penn State coming in at 2. I think the return of the core 3, Drew Allard, Katron Allen, and just the overwhelming supporting cast that's going to come back for Penn State with Nick Singleton, Nick Dawkins, Donnie Dennis Sutton, who showed out during the semifinal. Dude had a crazy freaking game. You look at the secondary. You're going to have to replace Abdul Carter and Tyler Warren and Jalen Reed and guys like that. That's going to be hard. But who do you have? You bring in Kyron Hudson out at the receiver position. You bring in Devontae Ross. Your guy, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're losing your former defensive coordinator. But look, it's a pretty brutal schedule, but it should be one that you should be able to contend with. I promise you that. You host an Oregon and Indiana. The only real contest that you have outside of that on the road at Ohio State. So you're in pretty good situation with that one. And I just have Ohio State coming in at number 1. I think that, again, you're talking about a team that's going to reload and be even better. You're bringing back – we'll see what Caleb Downs does near the end of the season. I do think he does enter the NFL draft. Oh, wait, no. Can he? No, because he's just a sophomore, isn't he?
Which one?
Caleb Downs is coming back next year because he's only a sophomore.
Yeah. I think he's coming back anyways.
Yeah.
Or I mean, like, he might come back even the next year.
For a senior year, are you sure?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Getting paid so much money just to be there, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we'll see. You bring back Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. Here comes Julian Sayin. I mean, goodbye Devin Brown, goodbye Aaron Nolan. You bring up a dominant tailback in C.J. Donaldson, Max Clark, who's another great running back as well. Now the question is, Quinshon Judkins, does he come back? I don't think so, to be honest with you. I think he does enter the NFL draft at the end of the day. I think that just with overall what you have on the defensive side of the ball, the defensive line's going to have to pick up. You lose Jack Sawyer. You lose JT Tuyamamolo. But look, it's a great, great start for where Ohio State was. I think they have an opportunity to repeat, and I think it's only going to be up from here for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I do think they end up repeating. Let's take a look at some way too early odds for the 2026 college football playoff national championship as we get 2-2, Craig. All right, so opening odds. Ohio State opens up as the betting favorite to win the national title at plus 450, followed by Oregon and Texas, who are tied at 650. Georgia has a plus 700, followed by Penn State, paid at 850. Notre Dame, Alabama finishing with 12s plus 1600. Here's an interesting one for you, Scout. And you might think this is a bit weird. LSU a plus 2,000 over a South Carolina team that brings a lot of its core back. Now, I know LSU's been dominating the portal, bro. You know who I did leave out? I left out LSU. I had them in my top 10, honestly. I think LSU, with the amount of transfers that you've gotten and the way that you're going to be able to develop these dudes, I think there's a lot of potential at the end of the day for LSU to be able to develop your dudes and to be able to get the guys that you need to rebound after a rough year that you had. But look, there's still a lot to look forward to for this team.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see. I'm going to get a drink, Scott. IBRB.
This man always puts me on the spot. Let me make sure I don't look dead inside. Oh my lord, I do look a little tired. I do look a little tired. You know what they say. You know what they say when you look. I'm not saying anything.
Yo, chat, let's run this thing up. Let's get to 100 views, please.
Up to.
Hey, I have a question.
What?
Who is Phil Guidry?
I have no idea.
This guy.
I have no idea.
Okay. Just curious. Anyway. Let's continue on. Overall takeaways from today?
Same old, same old.
Are y'all going to snowing tomorrow?
Yes.
Honestly, us too. I've heard so many freaking reports about it. I don't know if I trust it, though. I just don't. I don't. I just don't see this one being a... I don't see this really happening, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I just have a high doubt that it will snow. Hey, dog, we need to run this thing up. They need to hear us talk about some college football.
How many viewers are we up to?
Huh?
How many viewers are we up to?
We're up to 88. We got 88, dude.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad.
We ran like 100 plus for our
Yeah, but I mean,
semifinal.
we also started this one hella late compared to the others.
I started this one like as soon as the game was over, too.
But I'm saying, still, that's later.
Dude, Instagram turned up, bruh. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 dudes that showed out.
Mm.
By the way, you know the live from the Pines?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
The live from the Pines boys are in here right now, I think. It was a Quinn show. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Hey, by the way, join the link, dude. We need to get you in here. Hurry up. Get your butt in here. Whoever is in there. But hey, guys, look at the pinned comment. If you guys want to join in on the show, make sure that you hit that link. Also, if you're watching on Twitter, just make sure you hit it too. At the end of the day, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. All 88 of you that are so far in here as of now. Yeah, man, it's been fun. It's been fun. All right. So Nick Saban is calling for reform in college football's NIL system. The people out there need to know this model is unsustainable. One school can't spend $30 million for players while another school is spending $3 million. Thoughts on that one? I think this especially initially hits hard at the G5 level.
Yeah. I think when people say it's hit hard at the G5 level, I'm always I don't necessarily agree.
But I mean, you got to think about this. Look, I'll say this: G5's getting basically what Last Chance U was. They're getting like 5 4-star bounce backs.
Yeah. Well, but it's not that simple. It's never been that simple. Like, I still think that the G5 is in a really good spot when it comes to everything, right? So,
Look, G5 is kind of becoming more like a JUCO to me. Dude, let's just be honest.
don't say that word,
How many?
though. You don't
It's
say
how
that.
rare is it that we get G5 guys staying all 3 to 4 years and then go to the draft? How many of them are staying maybe a year or two and then dipping off to a P4?
I mean, yeah, but it's not like feeder system, sure. I just don't like the word JUCO because like JUCO has been.
That's exactly what a JUCO is for a lot of people. It's a feeder system. Look, Scout, we got to be real about it.
SMH. Hold up.
Did you freeze?
No, I'm here.
I don't care. Look. Okay, cool. Did I freeze? Did you freeze?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anyway, but look. Here's another comment from Chase Gist. Is NIL ruining college football? No. No. Long term, no. Short, it has its issues. I'll say that much. And I think, Scout, you can agree with me on that. I don't think it's ruining college football. I am pro athlete. I am pro for guys getting paid. But NIL is not what NIL right now is not what NIL is supposed to be. NIL is for having the name on the back of your jerseys that are getting sold in the student shop and being able to profit off of that and be your guy on campus. But now it has turned into NFL JV where you have these NIL contracts being put in place so that dudes can play at their respective school. It's free agency. Every time a dude enters the portal, you're basically looking for the highest bidder. And look, this is exactly what the NFL got themselves into, or the NCAA got themselves into at the end of the day. So you can't do anything but put this on yourselves. But again, what do I know? Because right now, college coaches are looking on on3.com and looking for the top prospects. They are looking for that next great player to come through and be able to get a 7-figure contract right out of high school. I've never heard of that before in my life. And it is insane to me. But again, we saw this coming a long time ago. And guess what? We're entering a new era, whether we like it or not. So, all right. So let's kind of get into our closing thoughts and what we expect. And I'll tell you what, Scout, we'll give our one bold take for we'll give a couple bold takes for next year.
Okay.
Just something that we want to see for 2025. And we'll see.
Okay. Shoot.
Final take for me on this football game. What a road it was for both teams. From two coaches that we were going to look at early in the season and say, oh, well, they lost to Notre Dame loses to Northern Illinois. Ohio State loses to Michigan for what? The 4th or 5th time in a row. There's no way that they'll be coming back to win the national title. Believe it or not, you know what's crazy about this game too? Is that Notre Dame had a 60% chance to win after that 18-play drive, by the way. But look, back to my point. What a run for both teams. What a run they had in the postseason for Ohio State on the offensive side of the ball. What a way for Will Howard to go out, a champion. A guy that people had written off a lot of the season. And especially going into the national championship. By the way, you want to hear a crime? Guess who's your MVP? I don't know if you saw.
Who?
Will frickin' Howard. Look, I love Will Howard. Look. Huh?
Who should it have been?
Quinshon Judkins, dude.
I mean,
the guy accounts for 3. Yeah, look. 11 carries, 100 yards. You account for 130 plus yards, I believe. You have 3 total touchdowns, and you don't win the MVP over Will Howard, who went 7th. Look, Will Howard came out slinging the rock. I'll give him that. He had a great start to that game, going, 15 for 15?
Yeah.
But look, Will Howard did great. Make no mistake about it. I think he, too, deserved an MVP. But I also think that the best player on that field was Quinshon Judkins. 11 carries for 100 yards, 2 catches for 21 and a touchdown. That's pretty impressive. But I think at the end of the day, Will Howard's ability to make plays when it mattered most, his ability to scramble, his ability to run the football effectively was a big difference in that football game. And it ultimately won Ohio State another national title, and it was impressive how they won this national title after all the scrutiny that had gone through. Make no mistake about it, Marcus Freeman is going to be back at Notre Dame. I don't think he goes to the NFL. I know that there's a lot of talk about him. He's not going to the NFL anytime soon. You can take it to the bank. He's not going to the NFL. But overall, Excellent game that we got. A better result than what I think a lot of people were expecting. Congratulations to Ohio State. We'll see what happens with them next year. Your turn.
Yeah. Um, I, I'll have more thoughts. Okay, are you free tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, well, I have more thoughts for y'all on Wednesday because we'll probably record a little thing tomorrow talking about a bunch of other stuff. Um, and then I know you retweeted it earlier, but if you want to go to my page, um, we did a little breakdown of the national championship game, but we also talked about some of the Senior Bowl just to cut the fat from that, like the next go round, because like I assume like uh tomorrow's show is gonna be also jam packed. So yeah, so be sure to check those two out. And I will say, okay, so shout out to 2K. You know, and I have one admonition. I had one admonition from the previous 2K, and I did not look it up before buying the game, but so there's a My NBA thing, correct? Right? So you can kind of control the league, whatever. Have a thing called eras. Now, I really got into the league the year, the year that the Warriors, not the year the Warriors dynasty was a thing, but like kind of in that period. And 2K16, great game, but it's dated, whatever. They literally have an era. Now I'm trying to realize which era this is, but it is the KD or which year this is specifically, but it's the 2010s is when it starts. It's the KD year. I'm trying to figure out what actual year this starts on. Let me just advance. Let me be Orlando. Let me see. Let me see which actual year. Is this 2016? If this is 2016, um, in 20, I think it is 2016. Yeah, yeah. So it's 2016. So your, hold up.
I'm
Let me
sorry, bro,
just,
but I gave up on 2K after 2K20.
2K20 was, oh my God, 4 years ago was crazy. Anyways, Bismack Biyombo just hurt himself. Oh my Lord. Okay, wait, let me look at this. Where is the,
Hey, look, Cody Simon had a good game himself, but I think that the MVP on the defensive side of the ball definitely could have gone to JTT. I mean, it's hard to argue either that or Sonny Styles, who ended up with 6 tackles and a sack, or JTT with 5 and a sack in a TFL.
oh my Lord.
What?
It's 2016, but I forgot how crazy the league was in 2016. They have a Jimmy Butler in the Bulls era here. Paul George on the Pacers. Take me back. Take me back to this NBA.
Does he have 24?
What?
We talking 2-4 PG 13 PG or 13 PG 13?
13 PG
Oh,
13.
okay. Well,
Take me back to this. Gordon Hayward pre-injury.
dude, Gordon Hayward would have gone down probably as one of the more underrated shooters in the NBA if he hadn't gotten hurt.
And they got, oh wait, so who's on the damn Magic at this point? Jesus.
What year?
The Magic roster
2016?
is Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, Evan Fournier. Oh my Lord, this is it.
Dude,
Then
Nikola Vucevic. Dude, that dude
Bismack
was a dog.
Biyombo, DJ Augustine was still in the league. Some of these, I swear, they're fake. I'm like, I do not remember this man. Austin Rivers put a triple double up for the Clippers. But yeah, but shout out 2K. But and the reason I say shout out 2K, imagine if Madden gave you the ability to go back to 2012, right, and just relive those years, but with better graphics and stuff. That would go crazy.
Eh.
And
Maybe.
then when you play like 2012, you get each real draft class up till 2024 or whatever, right? So it's like I can draft like if I feel like my team should have drafted like who's the RJ
RJ Barrett.
yeah, RJ Barrett from Duke instead of, the Grizzlies drafted fucking I'm terrible. I'm so tired. So tired. But they drafted Ja Morant. But if I'm like, oh, what if I wanted him instead of Ja, right? So it's just a crazy little thing.
All right, Scout, you're not gonna like me, but I did a re-rank. I'm
That's
not.
crazy.
There you go. Boom. So I got Georgia Tech at 25, Ole Miss at 24, Texas A&M at 23, Boise, Louisville, Tennessee, Michigan, BYU, SMU, Florida, K-State, Arizona State, Illinois, Alabama, Iowa State, Clemson, Notre Dame, LSU, South Carolina, Oregon, Miami, Florida, or more Miami, Georgia, Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, dude. There you go. Boom. Thoughts?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Keep it right there.
What if I just take it off the screen? What you gonna do?
Be okay, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. All right. Anyways, let's talk about our one bold take that we have going into next year's college football season. Scout, let's go ahead and let's get it started, baby.
One bold take. There will be a Southern team in the national championship next year.
Who though?
You asked for one bold take, not two. Jesus. The South. Okay, get bold. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
That's a bold take. I'll say that. I'll say this. I think we need to start. I got two actually. Number one is that we need to stop putting Texas A&M into high expectations and say that they're going to be a 10-win team at the end of the year. So unless you do something to prove me wrong, then I'm still not going to believe you. So I'll say this as well. Going into next year, mark my words, your Big 12 champion will be Iowa State. They will be a contender in the CFP semifinals. They won't make the Natty. I promise you that. I think that with how teams are going to look next year, I think the SEC is still going to regress. It should get better, but I think that the SEC next year, 2, 3, or 4 is your best bet at how many of those get into the CFP. Depending on just looking at how this season went this past year, I don't see more 2, 3, or 4 getting in. That's it. Everybody's looking at, the SEC is going to rebound. The SEC is going to rebound. Until I see it, and with what's coming back, Alabama's going to have a pretty rough year under year one with either – is Ty Simpson in the portal for real?
I don't think so. I think that
No. He's not in the portal. No.
I just think they've tossed it around a ton.
That could be another one of your bold takes is that Ty Simpson enters the portal.
It just depends on how they feel about Keelan Russell in the spring, I think.
Yeah,
I think he's one of those guys where you don't have he doesn't have to go in the portal. So
yeah, Keelan Russell's got a lot of talent, a huge upside coming at him. But the problem is that he's still young and that he's still going to be a freshman going into next year. So it's going to take time for him to develop as a quarterback, especially in this Kalen DeBoer offense. But I think Kalen DeBoer is looking more for a pocket passer, and I think that's what Ty Simpson gives you, and I think that's why he'll be the starter going into next year. Let's take an early look at some week 1 games, some interesting ones that we could be seeing for the first one. How about this one? Notre Dame going to Miami. That's a heck of a matchup, and it could be a top 10 matchup. Come next year, we'll get our first look at 2 new quarterbacks in CJ Carr and Carson Beck, bro. Definitely looking forward to that one. What do you think about that?
I don't know what to think. I really don't. I think that overall it'll be fine, but
LSU at Clemson in Death Valley. I still don't think LSU.
This will be an LSU statement game for real.
Dude, if LSU is somehow able to knock out Clemson and get their first win in the first week since 2019, it would definitely be a signature game and something that would definitely get the monkey off of Brian Kelly's back to win the big game on the road. We'll see what happens with that one. Auburn at Baylor. That's an interesting one to me because I think that's a fired coach's game. I
That's
I
a
don't know.
weird one, especially. Well, you know who went to Baylor, right?
Oh yeah.
Walker White went to
Oh yeah.
Baylor.
Oh yeah.
So that could get real interesting on what their thoughts are on all that. So who knows?
The dude has a huge upside. The 5-star quarterback in the class of what, 23 or 24?
24.
24, I figured so. We'll see what he does, dude. He's got a lot of Will Levis on him. He's a big dude, 6'3", 220. He's not a mobile guy. Going up against that and against the new freshman that's coming in for, dear God, what is his name? Oh no. Oh crap. Who was it?
Who? What?
The quarterback from Jackson Darnold. Jackson Arnold, that's what it was. You got Jackson Arnold coming in for his first year. The matchup between him going up against his primary competition, the new 5-star. With dear God, what is the dude's freaking name? Deuce Knight. That's who I'm thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I thought that's what you were saying, but I was just
I was trying to get it off. It was on the tip of my tongue, but I couldn't remember. It's going to be between him and Deuce Knight. I think that they could rotate 2 of them, honestly.
Not for the whole season though. That's
They're going to start off for the first few games. I mean, they're going to get a heavy dose of that, and then once they find a guy, they're going to roll with it because that's what they did this past year. But no, that quarterback room was god awful. But the problem is for Auburn is that are they willing to pay that much for or pay that buyout? That's going to be 75% of that remaining base salary because he was extended through 2029 because he had a contract that lasted through 2029.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. And I don't know if Auburn is still paying for Gus Malzahn.
They are.
I figured so.
Okay. So here's the weird thing. Technically, they're still paying for Gus, but UCF isn't.
Why?
Because UCF, he did not. That was not a.
Because that wasn't
by
a
the time
fire. That was
he
just a resignation.
Yeah, he just resigned, so he didn't get paid from them. But yeah, so one of the weird little things about this sport.
I think he was on his way out the door too at UCF. I wouldn't have seen him this upcoming year. But no, that game is definitely going to be fairly interesting. Boise State at USF. I think that one's an interesting one. Dare I say it? Here's another bold take, Scout. South Florida, 10-win season. Alex Golish is building something, dude. I just trust in what he's bringing to that program. Like, dude, you have consistently seen progress. Look, and even if they 10 games, you had a great Hawaii Bowl win against San Jose State, a fairly well coached San Jose State team with Ken Niumatalolo and what they were able to do this year. USF has a lot of work to do. Make no mistake about it. But it's not out of the ordinary and not out of the question that South Florida could potentially end up with a 10-win season.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll just have to see. I mean, it's going to be a tough stretch, too. I mean, you go to Memphis. You go to Annapolis against Navy. You go to Miami. You go to Florida. But you get Boise State at home. I think your 3 losses end up against Florida and Miami, maybe against either Memphis or Navy, and that might be it. You might be a 9-3 team and a contender for the American next year.
Yeah.
I mean, am I crazy to think that, or is that a likely potential solution? Or a potential.
I feel like we're way too far out to predict any G5s.
But I mean,
Really,
still, dude. I mean, is it out of the? Is it unlikely?
I don't know. I'd have to see.
Let's look at some more. Syracuse going up against Tennessee and Atlanta, Georgia. This is a complete rebuild game, but I think it's going to be a pretty interesting one between Josh Heupel's offense and against Fran Brown, and what Syracuse is going to bring to the table next year. Let's see if Syracuse can find a quarterback, dude. Got a lot of big shoes to fill.
Yeah. I think they have a few in-house from what I saw last time.
Yeah.
So who knows? They might have something.
Yeah, I mean, you have Ricky Collins, who's I played against in high school. Phenomenal arm. Let me just tell you, probably one of the prettiest balls you've seen at the high school level.
Pause.
What?
That phrase.
What?
Nothing about that phrase was not a pause.
What did I say?
You said he has
one. Oh, you're nasty. Hey, get your freaking head out of the gutter. You're so dang gross. Okay? Every one of y'all, whenever we say something, it's like, oh, it's out of pocket. Oh, that's out of pocket. Can we be mature for once? Like, bro. Anyways. You got Michael Johnson Jr., who was the backup last year. Didn't really do anything. Was at Penn State, then transferred to FAU. Had a torn labrum and played was more of a running quarterback in 2023. So we'll just have to see. You look at Jakari Williams, who was a top 50 quarterback in the class of 2024. You bring in Luke Carney, who was a top 100 quarterback coming in. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time. We'll see what happens. He's still a young dude, but I doubt he will get some playing time. So I think it's going to come down to Michael Johnson and Ricky Collins for the starting job. I think ultimately Collins has an opportunity to do so. I mean, he beat out who's the Vanderbilt transfer that was there at LSU?
forgot. I forgot which one. But yeah.
AJ Swan. I think Swan could. I mean, he beat out AJ Swan for the backup role. So anything can happen there.
Yeah. Also, what happened to y'all's quarterback that got in a car wreck? LSU. Did we get an update on it?
I haven't heard much. Let's see. What's crazy is that there really hadn't been a whole lot, bro.
What?
I'm trying to find. So here's what happened.
Was hospitalized.
So
and
his
car crash.
So it said that his Dodge smashed into a tree near campus. No serious injuries were reported. Had a large cut to his face. Although he was transferred to a Baton Rouge hospital, he is expected to make a full, so he's good. He's resting in his stable while more tests and care are being administered. Minister, we are confident Colin will receive a full recovery from this terrible accident. So obviously that was scary.
904
no, it was, huh?
904 legend.
Where is he from?
He's from Jacksonville, Florida. He played at Trinity Christian.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I think he's he's gonna be a transfer. I think he is a transfer actually.
Like what? He's in the portal?
I think so.
I think he's one of the only ones that hasn't hit the portal.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was, but I could be wrong. Nah, he's still there.
No. He's a dog. There's no way. I know that.
Oh yeah.
One of the kids that follows me, Knox Dyson, was like QB5, and he
Who that is?
I'm like, what?
I know who Knox Dyson is.
Yeah, but he seems solid. But I'm like, why is he playing that level ball? Or I mean, like, as in, like, he probably could have competed.
Knox is a D2 guy.
Yeah, but he could have competed or started at a lower classification.
Oh yeah, I love Knox, but no, he's no.
Yeah.
No. Oh, hey, I gotta show you something. I forgot I showed you. Look, the whole world needs to know about this. So,
shout out Otterbox.
Huh?
Shout out Otterbox. That crash was my fucking phone falling face first.
But no, I ended up. We were playing Ultimate Frisbee, all right, and I was just messing around and hanging out, and then all of a sudden, we were playing Ultimate Frisbee. I went up to go catch a frisbee, and then boom, I knock heads with an LSU walk-on receiver. All right, kid you not. So hey, it's a great story. So I feel my lip, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm bleeding. Obviously, I might just be bleeding in my lip. I go over to look in the mirror after I clean myself off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a hole in my mouth because my freaking tooth punctured all the way through my lip. And so I ended up having to go to the ER, got 3 stitches in my lip, and they'll be out by next week. So, hey, I'm alive and I'm well. So that's all that matters at the end of the day, baby.
Dear Lord.
What?
Not when he sent it to me, I was like, what the hell? I thought you were at a retreat. And you're like, oh,
I was, bro. I was. I promise you I was, bro. It was just crazy how it all happened. It was just unexpected, I should say. You know? And it's just
Yeah,
one of those things that you really didn't expect, if that makes sense.
yeah, I get that.
But no, it was fun. At the end of the day, I was fine, and I got back the uh, by the afternoon.
Yeah,
But no, man, we had a lot of fun at the end of the day. All right. Let's go ahead and shut down the live stream for Instagram. Instagram, we've hit the hour. Thank y'all for joining. All right. That's going to end it for us today. Thank you all once again for hopping on with us here on the college football, or not the college football nightcap, on out here on Inside the Huddle. The brand new era for us here as we
yeah,
begin a brand new name with a brand new system in place. Can't wait to get started for more. Follow me on X at Lucas_Hill23. Follow Scout at Southern Charm SP. And for more from us, we will see you all tomorrow for another live stream, some more talking around college football, a little bit more around the NFL. Maybe some college basketball and some college baseball. Get into that a little bit. So we'll see you guys next time over here as we take you inside the huddle.